This is a 2015 Mazda 5 minivan. In this video I'm replacing the power steering pump. The power steering pump is down here in the corner. This is its reservoir right here. And the reason I'm replacing it is two reasons. One, it's leaking somehow. It looks like the body of the pump is leaking. And two, is making a kind of loud whining noise. Now this seems to be something pretty common with these electric power steering pumps, but the noise has just gotten loud enough that it seems this sort of cause for concern, and I'm just going to replace the pump. This right here is the replacement pump. Kind of heavy. It's a brand new pump from Mazda, dealer item. I also have a few other items that I'm going to replace. This is the mounting bracket for the pump. It seems that the bracket that's in there now was damaged in a collision, so I'm just going to replace it. This is the top hose from the reservoir to the pump. Here's its part number. I'll include all these part numbers in the video description in case that you need them. And this is the return hose. I'm going to try to get to the pump through the wheel well here. And I'm just going to have to remove the wheel well liner to get to it. Sorry for the poor lighting, there's some backlight. And here is what it looks like on the inside of the wheel well liner. You can see this is the bracket that I'm going to replace right here. And this is the pump. This is the pressure hose. And let's see, this is the return hose right here, this S-shaped one that I'm going to replace. And the other hose I'm going to replace is up in the top connecting to the reservoir. But let's get started here with trying to get this whole contraption out. I'm going to start with this pressure hose, and this looks like a 17mm banjo bolt. This pressure hose is off. This banjo bolt has two copper washers, one on each side, that you must remember to replace. And now I'm going to disconnect this S-shaped return hose. Next I have these two 12mm nuts that secure the mounting bracket to this mounting plate. I've wiggled the mounting bracket out, and now the pump is exposed. The hoses have been disconnected. There's something still holding it from the top. Let's see what it is. Looking up from underneath, there is a second mounting bracket in the front of the pump, and it bolts in. Where does it bolt in? Up there. And we also have the electrical connectors that are best reached from down underneath here. They're right here. I'm going to reach up and disconnect them. So here is the pump with its reservoir, and in a moment I'll show you how to disconnect these two connectors. For these two electrical connectors, first you have this red lock that will be in position at the bottom, so you have to slide it up. Okay, so these two locks have been pushed up, and then once you push the lock up, you can press inside here on the tab and it releases the connector from the pump. This is the power steering mounting bracket. I'm going to compare the new bracket with the one that I removed, and I could tell that the one I removed was damaged, possibly in a collision. Let's see what differences we have. So the main difference I can see is right here on this section. This was bent back pretty badly. The main problem with this mounting bracket is that these bushings, there's two of them, one that goes here and what goes here, and they mount the power steering pump, hold it in place. These have completely rotted away, and they were no longer doing the job of fastening or holding the power steering pump in place. So it was just flopping around, and that's what led to the damage in the pump possibly. Now there's no way to purchase these bushings separately. You just have to purchase an entire mounting bracket. The pump is now mounted very securely. I want to give you a good view of how it is mounted. You have these two mounting points, one here and one here. They're on the mounting bracket. It attaches to this top flange. And these are the two bushings that I mentioned before. They hold the pump securely from this side. Now on the front side, we have two mounting points on the front mounting bracket, here and here, and this attaches up here to this mounting point that also has a bushing. So if this bushing were to wear away, you would have to replace this entire mounting bracket. I have not reattached the pressure hose and the return hose yet. That's because I want to flush out any old fluid that's in the steering rack. How I'm going to do that, I'm just going to go in the car and I'm going to turn the steering wheel lock to lock a few times, and then I'll hope that something will come out of these two lines. Let's see what happens. With the wheels off the ground, it's relatively easy to turn lock to lock. Well, it's really easy. And you're going to do this a few times. We're going to go see what has come out, or if anything has come out. So I've got this big catch pan underneath, and it was completely dry before the lock to lock, and a little bit has come out, not a whole lot. I'm going to continue doing it for a little bit more before I start refilling from the top. I have reattached the pressure hose with two new copper gaskets here and here, and reattached the return hose. And I'm going to start filling from the top. I'm going to refill up here through this reservoir, and after I pour a little bit in, I'm going to turn lock to lock and see if it drinks it down, and then add some more. This is the fluid that I'm using. It's pretty good universal ATF. So after filling this reservoir to the top, I turned the ignition on. I turned the engine on for a few seconds, and the reservoir has sucked dry, so I'm going to refill it again and repeat a few seconds of engine running. This is after the second fill up and turning the engine on for a few seconds, and now the reservoir, the fluid level is at the maximum line of the reservoir. I don't know if you can see it clearly there. So now I'm going to proceed with turning the engine on and turning the steering wheel lock to lock. And so far I've poured in just a little bit less than 1 quart, almost an entire quart of fluid to get to this situation here. Now I have the engine running. I have turned the steering wheel lock to lock with the engine running, and the fluid is staying at this level. It's not going down any further. And even better, there is no more whining from the pump. The old pump was making a loud whining noise. This pump is quiet as a mouse. And that was the whole purpose of this repair, was to eliminate the leaks and the whining. So I think we've done a successful repair here. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.